to another episode of Custom Tom. Before we start, I will have to apologise for the last video how it ended up being a bit fuzzy and horrible at the end. I didn't realise there was a greasy fingerprints on the screen, so there was that. So sorry about that. Today is a different type of video, one that I've been wanting to do for a while. I am going to be doing, well, finishing off I should say, my zinc plating. That's what these are. These are zinc anodes. So yes, I'll be finishing off my zinc plating today. I'm just setting things up. I've had the tank heater on for a while, for about half an hour, and we are at 30 degrees Celsius. Bath in that if you wanted, but don't. I've just poured in hot water into a tray. If you come down here, so here is my hot water tray. This is with the acid salts, dry acid salt. This is the alkaline cleaner GP1, and this is the blue passivate. Here is the rinse, and here is the plating solution with the anodes in. Now, got a couple things I need to do. For example, where did I put you? That's here. The top mount for the shock absorber. Now this has the nuts and the bolt for it. So I can do all these separate. But what I like to do first is clean everything off with a wire brush. So I'll get that done without dropping anything, and then I'll go through the process of what I do. One thing I like to do before I start, clean off the hanger. Well, I call it the hanger, I don't know what you actually call it. It's where I put the parts on to the negative side of the power source. So if I clean that off, it will have a good contact. And that's just a bit of copper pipe, that is. And then I've got inside here, I've got two bits of anodes in the zinc plates for zinc plating. So I've got two of them in, connected up to the positive lead. Turn my power on. This is a 0 to 30 volt power up to 10 amp, and I normally run it about 1.5 to 2.5 amp. 2.5 amp will be for that, and like 1.5 will be for something like that. So that's all I do. First things first, goggles and safety mitts. Just give everything a good clean off. Find as well, if you do this just before you start cleaning it, dipping it into all the acids and everything, it does give a much better finish. So I'm just getting rid of most of the rust and dark patches, which will be oxide, so just getting rid of that kind of stuff. And I'm using copper strands for the plating process, so I'll do that before I start even chucking her in the baths. So let's carry on. So there's one thing I like to do first before I start this process. Obviously I've cleaned it off with this my bobbit. Made sure I got all my safety gear on. But for the process of dipping, I'm not going to be using these gloves, I'm going to be using these. Because they're a bit better. A bit thicker, a bit better. We're sorted in these. They're right pain in the arse to get on, but they're a lot more durable than little rubber gloves. First thing I do, dip it in the water first. That's just something I do. Then pop her in the alkaline cleaner, give that a stir around with this. That's one in, and just keep doing that with all of them. I give it about 5-10 minutes in there. So like I say, this is just something how I do it. It's not necessarily how you should do it yourself, like. But and now these bigger bits, this is going to be a bit tougher because I don't think it will fill it. No, it don't fit in. But what you can do is just keep turning it round and stuff like that. Now that's done. I dip it in the bath just to clean off any of the residue left, and then pop them in here for another 10-15 minutes into the acid dip. And as you can see, this big bugger here is bubbling away. What this does is it gets rid of all the rust and anything that might be left on. Yeah, not worry about getting your fingers wet in this with gloves on. But it does help to keep these parts sticking out. Right then, this one is my first go. This will be my practice run. I'll bring you over here. So after the acid, dip it in there, and now you're nice and clean. As you can see, there's no marks left on it. And I say this is practice run because I can't set this up until this is in. So if I put this in there, so I'm on too high there. So if like I say, well, you can see the fizzing instantly. I'm on 0.9, there we are, somewhere about there, and it just fizzes instantly. That might be a bit too high for this small job. Let's chuck her down. Every now and then I'll come back and give it a swirl round in there. Try and not create too many bubbles. But with two anodes in, it gets to plate it from all different sides then. And after just a couple of seconds, you can see that it's already plating, but I'm going to put more on. Before, after. So I'm happy with that plating. Doing a couple of seconds in there, really, like a couple of minutes. Then rinse it off and just swill around in the passivate. You get yellow with this kit. I will pull a link up if I remember. But yeah. And this just etches it, I think it's like an acid type thing in the but it's not that corrosive. But still don't drink it or dip your hands in it, obviously. I don't know, I'm not a chemist. And this just makes it a bit shinier than the dull zinc. he says. Swirl around in the drink again and just let it dry off naturally. Now, I'm no expert at this. This is only my first attempt, so let's get this one out. Now that's before. I'll show you after in a second. Right then, and this is the after. Loads better. Chuffed to bits with that. Right, I know it's a short one again, but you know, I've done loads of stuff today. There's the thing I showed you on the video, but I've got the axles done, I've got the engine bolts done, more of the suspension bolts done for the shock linkage underneath and everything. It's just one of these processes that is boring to show, unfortunately, but it's dead interesting to do for me, so I really like doing this kind of stuff. But for now, that's it from me. Hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.